Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want to put together a proper no-nonsense guide on mining with the ATLS GEO in Star Citizen. This isn't theory. This isn't patch notes. This is based on real gameplay, real bugs, and real mistakes that I've made, and what I've learned actually using the GEO for multiple mining runs at this stage. So if you're new to GEO mining, or you've tried it and felt like you are constantly fighting the inventory, the boxes, or the overheating, this video should save you a lot of frustration and probably a lot of credits as well. Let's get into it. Section 1, what the ATLS GEO is actually good at. The GEO is not ship mining. It's not traditional hand mining either. It sits right in the middle. What it's good at is high value surface mining, solo industrial gameplay, farming micro SCU resources efficiently, and supporting future crafting and base building. Now I know the last one, we don't actually have that gameplay in yet, but at least it's setting the foundations for that to come in. The GEO really shines when you're targeting rocks like Famenline, Dolvine, Hadonite, and any similar high-value surface nodes. So I've personally pulled around 600k or so in aUEC in a single session, and that's without min-maxing routes. Section 2, tools for the job. So if you're planning to head out and mine with the GEO, planning ahead is extremely important. And I would recommend taking the following things. Obviously, the ATLS GEO itself. You can find that at a number of locations, and the current cost as of this recording is about 90,000 aUEC. It can be found at Area 18, Astro Armada, in Pyro, Obituary, Buy and Fly, Checkmate, Buy and Fly in Pyro, the Buy and Fly at Ruin Station, and in Stanton you can find it at Orison at New Deal, the Crusader showroom, or you can find it at Lawville at Tisa Spaceport. New Deal is there. And finally, you can also find it at Levski at Teacher's Ship Shop in Nix. So that's out the way. What else should you bring? You should bring some water and food and water. Now I like to bring the yellow Cruise Lux bottles. I like to bring about 10 of them, and that handles your food and your thirst, your hunger and thirst in one go. Next, I'd like to look at the armor. So you should take really two different types of armor, one to handle the extreme heat or the heat weather type, and then the other to handle the cold weather type. Depending on where you go, that's what you wear. I also like to take SCU container boxes. Now this is purely dependent on the amount of cargo space you have in your ship. You could take two size 2 SCU container boxes, or two size 1s, or more. The more the better, and as I said, it all depends on the type of ship you take and how much space you have in its cargo hold. Now, next is the actual GEO boxes themselves, which go into the ATLS GEO. I like to bring about 3 or 4 of those, depending on again how long you're planning to stay out mining. Now, there is another method to this, is where you can fill up the SCU containers with all of these GEO boxes, and you'll have a GEO box full of rocks that you've mined using the GEO, and you just store them inside the container boxes. It's purely up to you, however you want to store them, the more the better, but you should be aware that there is a bug currently with the way the GEO is reporting its cargo hold capacity, and we'll get into that once I go into the full kind of mining guide towards the middle or just after this section. Next, I like to bring 2 Pyro multi-tools, one with the tractor attachment and the other the medical attachment. Obviously one's for tractoring and moving your geo around easily, and the other is in case you have any minor accidents and you need to quickly heal yourself. Now you can carry med pens as well. Another option is you can carry one multi-tool and one med gun instead. It's up to you, but don't forget the spare gel ammo types for both of these tools. Oh no, you're kidding me. Oh no. I just got knocked out. And finally, I like to bring a spare mining attachment for the multi-tool. This is if the extraction feature on the Geo doesn't work. And you'll see what I mean when we get into the gameplay. Section 3. What ships can hold the ATLS GEO? So what ship can you use? I'll only mention the small to medium sized ships as they are more common, and we all know the larger ships can pretty much hold almost anything, barring say something like a hull C or a hull A, and some other ships as well that I won't bother naming here. Now, you can take the Drake Cutter, all its variants. You can take the Drake Cutlass, all its variants as well will fit the Geo, plus you have plenty of space for both of those. You'll have plenty of space for all of these ships, in fact, for extra storage boxes as well. The RSI Zeus, both variants, and also the Freelancer variants as well, the Der, the Miss, and the Max. So you've got loads of options there in terms of the types of ships you can bring. Now you can, if you own any of these, great, you're in a great position already, or you can go and rent them in multiple locations around the verse. Section 4, finding a good mining spot. I would highly recommend you go to regolith.rocks, and under the data tab, you've got the rock or FPS mining ores. You go into there and you'll see a lovely table like this with the rock ores at the top, and then the planets down the left hand side. And you can see, as an example, Hadanite, Aberdeen has a 16% coverage of Hadanite, whereas Fairmaline has a 51% coverage on Aberdeen. And these two you can use, you can go in and mine these if you want. But what I did, I went, and I'm not saying you should do this, but it's up to you. It's all about time, efficiency, and how much game time you have, really. If you don't have much game time, but you want to do the whole Fairmaline run, you can go to Aberdeen. It has a 51% coverage, and there's a very high chance that you'll find Fairmaline. Or, like me, or Magda as well, you got Magda 41%. Or like me, if you have some time and you want to go to Pyro, you can go to Ignis, which has 87% Fairmaline. Or Fuego, which has 63%. Now this changes quite frequently. So I would highly recommend you saving this as a favorite, as a bookmark, and using it as a guide and a decider of where to go on your mining run. Also, another good tool that this website gives you is the calculator. You can go and check the market prices as well, so you know how much you have once you finish mining. So if you can just go calculators, market price calculator, just get rid of these ones here. So clear that. And then let's say you have Fainmaline. You have 1000 micro SCU of Fainmaline. Who buys Fainmaline? So it gives you prices based on however much micro SCU you've put in here. So you have 1000 micro SCU. That's a value of 393k at HDMS Anderson on Hurston, on Aberdeen. In my case, on my last run, I had about 1,500. That was worth 589k. So you can quickly calculate before you head back home, for instance. And if you think you don't have enough and you need more, you can stay, log and log off, log back on the next day and continue mining and say triple that. If you triple that, there you go. You've made your first, that's over 1 million aUEC for 3,000 Fainmaline, micro SCU of Fainmaline. Section 5, mining technique. Avoid overheating. This is where a lot of players mess up. The Geo ramps heat extremely fast once you hit the green zone. So key tips, do not sit in the green zone too long. Try and feather the beam. Back off immediately if it spikes toward red. And keep your distance because explosions still hit you from far away. So I've been about 10 meters back from an overheating rock and still got knocked out and actually killed by the explosion. So if you overcook a rock, you'll lose time, you risk dying, and you risk losing the entire run. Slow and controlled always beats fast and reckless. Section 6, understanding geo storage. Now this section is quite critical. The Geo has one main storage box at the rear, and the Geo's UI will also lie to you sometimes, or most of the time in my case, about its cargo percentages, but you can ignore that if you follow the instructions I give you. So what matters is what's actually inside the box and when you manually swap it, and I'll show you that in the next section. Section 7, the correct way to handle Geo boxes. So here's a process that actually works. Number 1, you fill the active Geo box until it's full. And it can take about a maximum of 736 micro SCU. You open the rear compartment, you remove the filled box, and you transfer it to one of your 2 SCU or 1 SCU cargo container boxes, if you've bought them. If not, you just lay it on the floor. And then you replace it with an empty one. And then you resume mining. If you do it that way, you minimize the bugs. The UI will still tell you that it's full once you start mining, but once you start to extract the ore, the rocks, then it will reset and it will be as if it's a brand new box. If you don't do this, as I said, extraction will bug out, the cargo won't register, and you'll think you're mining, but you're not gaining anything. Section 8, bug workarounds you need to know. So let's be honest, this is Star Citizen. The common Geo bugs are cargo showing as full when it isn't, and that's pretty much all the time for me. The extraction stopping randomly, and this is where the mining attachment for the multi-tool comes in handy as well. And boxes refusing to register its contents. The fix is to exit the Geo, transfer contents manually to your backpack, and then reinsert the box. It's annoying, but it works every time. And finally, section 11. As this video has gone long enough, I'm going to cut this guide short, but just give you my final points before you get out of here. Geo mining is high risk, high reward. Overheating will kill you, as you saw. Boxes will bug out and crashes happen, so you need to plan for it. But when it works, it's one of the most satisfying industrial loops in the game right now, in my opinion. And with crafting and base building coming, everyone is going to need to understand mining, especially solo players. Right guys, that's my practical guide to geo mining in Star Citizen. If this helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest Star Citizen guides, and let me know in the comments if you want a follow-up on best mining locations or profit comparisons versus ship mining. Fly safe, manage your heat, and don't trust the UI when it comes to geo mining. Captain Turk out.